Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of Conversations with Experts. Today's episode, our guest is me. So I decided after Andy Bryan's interview last week to do some extra questions around the whole twin flame topic and the whole ideas of relationship and the kind of relationships that we get into. So I'm going to do this interview as if I'm doing it with a guest, and I am my guest. I'm going to do it a little bit eclectic. What I'm going to do is you're going to see me like this for the interview as the interviewer, and you're going to see me probably dressed a bit different for the answers to the questions. So Hem is a self-love coach. She supports individuals to find their inner brilliance so that they can create an inner roadmap to deep love and care. She empowers people to understand the reasons we get held back in life. Her motto, my motto, being that when we love each other and we love ourselves, we can have brilliant lives, brilliant careers, brilliant everything. In my line of work, the things that I do are I use coaching, I use meditation, I use healing work, I am a yoga teacher, I do breath work, mindfulness, and I also do healing because I'm a Reiki master, and I do readings because I connect to angels. My mission is to ignite people's passions, to get back into the authenticity of their lives and get back in touch with themselves by being in honesty. I help my clients to fully develop behaviors to manifest lives that they want, and I work on things like purpose, future direction. I liken my style of coaching to just a little bit of magic that will bring out the best life that you can live. I'm also a yoga teacher, as I already said. I love spiritual texts, and the other thing I love is chocolate. So there you go, that is my bio. And it wasn't very well done because, quite frankly, it's really weird to be introducing myself. And so I probably just read it out because I just read off my bio. So it's probably like a little bit. So today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking about twin flames, relationships. So there are many different topics around this, but what I've done is I've created some questions that I'm going to answer, and I'm going to talk to the whole twin flame journey and what it is and what it means. So there you go. So join me in a few moments in the interview where I am going to take you through all that there can be explained with regard to these relationships, so you can get a bit of an understanding of what they are and whether maybe you resonate with them or whether you don't. Wow, this is so interesting. One of the ones that kind of always saddens me and I always wonder about is the one where we meet somebody and you know you could have been such a good friend to that person, and you know that your relationship with that person could have been absolutely wonderful. Yet what happens is that you just part ways and life goes on, but you wonder about them often and you think, oh, I do wonder how this person is, I do wonder how they are. I'm kind of intrigued about what your thoughts are on that kind of relationship and that kind of connection, and you know what it kind of means in the bigger scheme of things and within this kind of relationship context as well. Oh man, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I have so many people that come into my life and I miss them in some ways, so I think, oh, why didn't we become closer friends, or that I would have loved to have been that person's deeper connection. You see, the thing is, I mean, I love it in the essence of the fact that, you know, the truth is we can't be friends with everyone, we can't stay friends with every single person that we meet, yet there's something almost visceral, isn't there, and your energy kind of becomes a little bit like, but I really like them, why haven't they stuck around? There's reasons for these, Andy actually says this in the interview last time as well. It's people coming for a reason, a season, a lifetime, and I also say purpose. And you know, it's true, there's often a reason why they're there. There's often a reason why they go, and it can be tricky because you wonder how they were, you wonder what they're doing. But you see, the thing is, with all the relationships that we have, the one that comes and goes really fast, or you have a very small time with them, right? They've done their work. Even, like sometimes you're at you're waiting at a station, for example, for a train, and you start chatting to someone on the platform and the train's delayed, so you end up chatting to them for an hour, and then it becomes 2 hours, and then it becomes like 3 hours. You may even get on the train and sit with them. Not always that you do, but you do. Say in this particular scenario, you get on the train, you sit with them, chat, and then you say goodbye. Have a good life, kind of thing. You don't even say have a good life to them, you just go. But somehow, somewhere, whether it was for you or whether it was for them, you did something for them. You may have given them an understanding about something that they didn't know. And these are what we call light bulb moments, light switch moments. So we go into each other's lives and create these relationships for a reason. And the relationships are then the things that help us to grow as individuals. So it is a bit of pill to swallow sometimes when you meet someone that you like so much, but they have to go. Yet there is always a reason for it, and there's always a reason for that. And there's, like I say, it's just that season. They were a season for you. Also, another thing about it, and this one's quite important, is that when we're in relationship, right? We grow out of relationship when our energy changes. So say you had X amount of friends when you were at school, but then you go off and get your new job, and you just find that you fall out of favour with each other. You're not falling out of favour with each other. Your energetic person is changing as you grow and you evolve. They're evolving one way and you're evolving another. It doesn't make either of you bad or wrong. It just makes you different. It means you're changing as human beings. And then your way of thinking, your way of being is one way of the world, and their way is another way of the world. And it's this that is what this is all about. And this is why we have this kind of thing happening. And this is why we live in a world that is like that. So that's for that. So I just want to go back to what are the significance of these type of relationships and what are the reasons for them. So for example, what are the reasons for a specific twin flame relationship, for example, or what are the specific reasons for these relationships? I mean, why are we in a system or a world where these different types of connections are occurring? And, I know that the label thing isn't something that we're fond of here. Yeah, I get why there's the labels there. I'm just intrigued as to what this is actually all about, as in what is it that's going on within these relationships that kind of brings us to the space where we do become more evolved. What within these relationships is so essential for each one of us? And also tell me a little bit more about what it is. What is it about them that makes them different, and is it that they're different, or is it just that it's just the way that it is? That was a long question, wasn't it? That's how I set myself up. Probably don't even remember the question. No, I'll do my best. These relationships in general are kind of fated, okay? Well, they are fated. I know those of you who watch my readings or any of my videos really will know that I sometimes talk about a fated life and a divine life, so the two different parallel lives that you could choose from, right? It makes no difference either way with those lives. The connections and people you meet are still going to occur. They may be different in the different sides, okay? Different types of connections, because your energy is going to be different in a fated life to a divine life. So what it is that we need everything, right, in the world, and everything that we do is connected to relationship, okay? All relationship. So in order to grow, to evolve, to be stronger, to develop, to create more traction in our world, to raise ourselves up. Relationship is the predominant factor. It's always going to be, even if you do everything on your own, relationship is still going to end up happening in order for you to create things. So for example, if you're going to learn to drive, you've got a driving instructor there, haven't you? Then you've sent your form in and you've got the license, someone dealt with that. You may not necessarily have to spoken to them, but you might have to speak to a person who gave you the form, relationship. And then you may have to do a test. Over here in the UK, we do something called a written test. So then you've got to apply for that. Then you go to the written test, you meet someone there. You won't have a full relationship with them, but you never know. You could go in there and when you leave, the guy could say something to you that clicks something in your mind, that reminds you of something, that changes something for you. This is actually how small it is. And I know it sounds minuscule, tiny, right? But actually, this is how it happens. We live our life in relationship. And what it is with regard to the bigger relationship types is that we are hitting destiny points. And you have destiny points in fated life as well as divine life. Always, we all have destiny points. And the reason we have destiny points is because of lessons. If you will, let's say Earth is a university. This is the university of life, of human existence, right? And in the University of Human Existence, we have points of experience that we have to experience, that we are going to experience, and these experiences help us to raise into spaces where we can understand the lessons we came to learn. So did you come to learn to manage money better? So then you're going to meet people who are going to help you with that or hinder you with that as well, right? Or did you come to learn to love? You're going to find that your first experience is going to be no love. You're going to struggle with love. You're going to struggle with connection. And this is what happens. Then all your relationships around your growth, not everyone, because there's always going to be fun relationships, joy relationships, people that raise you up. There's going to be those as well. However, the other side of the coin, the growth relationships, the growth soulmates, are going to bring you a gift of awareness, and not always in a good way. I mean, I had a boss many, many years ago who really did not bring me what I would have called happy soulmate relationship. However, we had an interesting relationship because everyone even said it. There's something odd about you two. It's almost like you're related because we were there to give each other a message in some ways. I was there to help her with something. She was there to help me with something. Whether we learned it or not is another matter. But these relationships, that's what they're for, okay? They're destiny driven. They're there for a reason. And when we meet them, we're like, woohoo! See, sometimes you meet someone and you think, oh my, this person is amazing. I love them. I can't get enough of them. And you have this deep connection with them. Or maybe you knew someone from school and they're going to be your soulmate friends, you know, your early childhood people who just, they're always there. They're always there for leaning on. They're always there for relying on. And you're also going to have those people that are not there for relying on. Those people are going to be helping you to raise into what it is you need to do to create better boundaries. Because are you giving to these people more than you ought to be? That kind of thing, right? And then, of course, we go back into the sort of karmic stuff and the twin flame stuff. As I say, twin flame relationship, whatever, ever it is, it's not a good thing to be seeking it out, not a good thing to be looking for it, because it's not, if it's not for you and it's not within your destiny brain, then what you could do is miss out on one of these other amazing connections that there are. There are so many different types of connection, and none is greater than the other. The angels say this to me all of the time. Hierarchical structure is a human concept and a human defined system. We've decided on this thing. We've said these people are better than these people, or this person who is a doctor, because they're trained this high, it has hierarchy over this. The angels do not think in that. They can't even conceive of it, because even though we labeled them with hierarchical structure, when I speak to them, they say it doesn't work like that. That's not how it is. There is no hierarchical structure. We do not do that. The thing is, because we do that, that's how relationship can really test us. Because also within relationship, You may meet people who are in higher positions, and they could be any one of these soulmate relationships, and you connect to them, yet you feel uncomfortable around them because of their status. So they came to teach you something. I wonder what that could be. And if anyone knows, you can stick it in the comments. If you don't stick it in the comments, I don't mind. But it's just, if you're interested in some of this, do ask me, because there is so much. This is such a beefy and big topic. There is a lot in it. Okay, so look, before we get to the end of this interview and, some of the fun questions, I do have probably the harder question, probably more of a sort of a deeper question. So with regard to things like the twin flame soulmate, for example, or even a karmic soulmate connection, the question, and you did bring it up in last week's interview with your with the guest, right? The question would be this whole toxic framework and narcissistic framework, and I don't love that word, another label. We're not talking about the DSM-5 diagnosis of what a narcissist is. We're talking about a personality that's difficult, that's toxic, that's manipulative, coercive, that kind of thing. So I want to kind of sort of bring some understanding around the whole twin flame conundrum and this other aspect of how do we be careful with, and what maybe would you say to people who, and like I say, I know you asked the guest last week, but I really want to bring some more awareness to this about what happens if you feel that that's what's going on with you, regardless of what you think your relationship is, and what would you say? I mean, I know it's just general advice, and it's nothing. You can't give any more than some general advice with regard to this. But I'm kind of intrigued as to what your thoughts are on this. As it goes, I have actually thought long and hard about this question. And I say this is just guidance, and there's nothing I can say. Each one of us has to do what's right for us. Okay, we need to make decisions from a space of love for ourselves. Obviously, I'd say this because of self-love, but it's about understanding our inner drives, our motivations, and what's going on for us. Yet the thing is, with that question, with that whole bringing the question of the sort of the toxic element to these relationships, one of the major things around often these relationships, and both type, the karmic especially and the twin flame one, is often people think they're in a relationship like that's loving and tender, but they're trying to get through the lower vibratory energy of themselves, so they're trying to develop better traits to move through them. Yet the thing is, if you're in a relationship that is destructive, coercive, manipulative, aggressive, dominating, any of these things, it doesn't matter if they are even meant to be your person, right? The person that, and there is a possibility they could really love you, because real self-love, and this is the ultimate of especially of the twin flame relationship, it is the ultimate. To really be strongly in twin flame relationship is to be in self-love. Now, if you're in a relationship that's any of those things I just mentioned, then you're not in self-love, right? So it's to say to yourself and recognize that it doesn't matter what relationship it is, even if you believe it so strongly to be of this high vibratory energy and that it will be the ultimate relationship. If that person loves and cares for you, and it's meant to be a healthy relationship, those things won't happen. Now, if you've got that conundrum going on, it's very simple. You walk away and you get your life back on track. If these are your people and they're right for you, they'll go and grow as well. And then you may come back together one day. Yet if they don't, then they weren't for you anyway. And that is the ultimate and the best thing I could say, right? We have to protect ourselves. We have to safeguard ourselves. We have to look after ourselves. And often these kind of energy of chasing or looking for something that's ultra special can put us in positions of what I call vulnerability. And that is not what we're looking for. And as someone who's been through a very toxic relationship of my own, right, all I can say is I really wouldn't want that for any of you guys, because toxic relationships are soul destroying, and they really do deplete us of our energy and our shine, right? And why would any of you want to deplete yourselves of your shine? You see, and so firstly, be aware of it. I mean, often what happens, I'm sorry about my road over there. Often what happens is that we deplete ourselves because we fall so in love with the other person, and often beautiful souls who end up in these kinds of relationships and these connections are very spiritual, very sensitive, very empathic humans, okay? Then what happens is they give, and forget to look. And this is why I say self-love, come back to love, come back to checking in with you, come back to your boundaries. If someone is treating you in a way that you would never, ever treat another human being yourself, then you need to assess if that relationship is serving you at that moment in time. If it isn't, say goodbye. Give yourself that break. Take a step away. Start again. You know, true loving relationships really honor you. The love that you have is so profound that the other person has always got your back. Look, don't get me wrong, this isn't to say that there won't be arguments. This isn't to say that you won't disagree with each other, because that's another thing as well. Often in relationship, many of us are looking for this ideal partner. The ideal, you know, so people say that twin flame is the ideal, you know, or the romantic soulmate, he's the ideal or she's the ideal, right? Well, maybe. But you know, there is no picture perfect relationship. No. I don't know why I keep doing this little picture like it's like I'm doing charades. But you know, this picture perfect doesn't exist. So it's about recognizing we're all human. And often I think that when there's the toxic coercive element, we're being overly giving, we're being overly generous with what we're allowing, right? So my words of wisdom, my thoughts would be to say, look, this relationship is just absolutely destroying me. Who's got to be important here? It's always got to be you. And look, I'm saying this from experience, guys. I really struggled to put me first. I was looking at everything everybody else might feel about my life and what I might do, and how is it going to affect everyone if I left this person? How is it going to change the dynamics of my life, and what were people going to think? No, this isn't any good, because if we're sitting around thinking how's it going to affect other people, and you know, I must make a decision based on everybody else, then what happens is we fall short of ourselves. And like I say, the majority of the high energetic fated soulmate, twin flame, even karmic soulmate romantic relationships, they are definitely there for a purpose. Okay, and because they're there for a purpose, that purpose could be for you to be strong enough to say, I've had enough of this. I'm not letting you do this to me anymore. I'm walking away. Look, even with the twin flame relationship, these guys are, whether you believe in the what's the word, union as in coming together as a couple or not, and many people say they don't believe that it is for anything but that, which I think we quibble on terms in life in general there, because I think there can be both levels of that kind of relationship. But that's just a thought, doesn't make it correct. They're just beliefs, you know, and beliefs are fact. So that's just a thought, right? But the thing is that even with those relationships, they're there to get you to grow. So if they're there to get you to grow, right, then you might experience things that aren't good. Yet they are also always part of you. So if you leave that type of relationship, you're still with that person anyway. You see, I don't know if any of you guys know about this, but we all have threads, like cords that connect us to people. And this is why many of us, people who do the kind of work that I do, say get yourself disconnected from people, make sure you cleanse your energy, that kind of thing, all right? We say it because we all pick up stuff everywhere we go, all through the day, and then we come home and we bring it into our front rooms, that kind of thing, right? So, but with most relationships, you can disconnect that cord. With a twin flame relationship, that cord is always attached. There's no, and it's not an unhealthy cord because it's a golden cord. I think the Japanese, maybe it's the Chinese, say it's the yellow, a red thread. It's a red thread, I think they say. So, but there's a thread and it binds you to one another, but it's not in a bad way because that connection is almost like your source energy. So it doesn't matter where in the world they are or where they are, even if they're not incarnate on this earth, they're always with you. And that's another thing I wanted to say because we're on that part about them being whether they're here or not here. And that is the thing. If you're looking for your twin and looking for a relationship with a twin and they're not incarnate on this earth, you may not have any relationship. And I think that would be sad because a relationship's amazing, especially when it's loving, kind, and connected, and it brings you to a space of such divine love that you experience, because the relationship's beautiful. We experience so much in relationship that we can't experience anywhere else, and it's just a brilliant place to learn to grow and to be more loving and more kind and more evolved and more giving. And that's kind of what all of these relationships are for. They're to bring us to the best side of ourselves. I mean, and then what more could we want than to have people who have our backs, like I say, whether it's negative or positive. I mean, of course, it's going to be more challenging in the negative aspect, yet when you grow, you'll recognise why it happened, especially if you're being very open and expanded. It's only when we're in contraction that we tend not to understand why those difficult things happened between us and others. So there you go, yeah. So thank you. I've loved this. So this has been really weird doing this. So we're at the fun part of the interviews. So you know my way of doing these now. This one's obviously a bit different because it's a bit crazy. It's like having two of me. But yeah, the questions I'd like to ask, we're going to do the fun question. Right, so what I would love to know is a favourite film. Just a favourite. Yeah, no documentaries or anything like that. Let's just go for your favourite. Actually, I mean, if you've got a spiritual film, maybe a spiritual film, or your favourite film of all time. Oh, this question. Favourite film of all time. I love films, and I love all sorts of films. What could be my favourite film? Oh, I don't know. This is a tricky question. I don't know. Okay, favourite film. My favourite film. See, I'm really weird with films because I have like films that I just go to, which I'll watch over and over again, which my boyfriend always says are rubbish. He goes, "Why are you watching these films? Why do you keep watching this film?" He says things like, "I tried to get into this film that you love so much, but it's awful." That's really awful. I'm a bit of a superhero person, so I love superhero series and all the Marvel stuff. I actually like all that. I'm a bit of a geek. So I love superhero stuff. So I love the whole X-Men series. I love the the Marvel films. I love them. So Captain America and stuff like that. And what else do I love? I don't really watch them anymore, but I did used to love James Bond. And another thing I like a lot is, I can't think what it's called now, actually. No, I haven't got it. So I don't remember that one. So, but yeah, I love, like I say, superhero stuff. Give me superhero stuff any day, any time. And I just adore it. And I just find it really, really, really fun. So yeah. So, we're coming to the last few questions. What is your favourite food of all time? And I'd love to have a favourite meal type of food and a dessert. That's what I'd love to know. So, my favourite food is actually Mexican because I love spicy stuff. I love food that has spice in. in it. And I really have a thing about tortillas. I don't really eat them that much because I'm not so great with like wheat and stuff, but I do love spicy Mexican food. So that's kind of one of my favorites. And dessert, wow, dessert's an interesting one because I love chocolate. I love chocolate, like, you know, brownies. I love brownies. And I also love, I actually had a brownie today because I went for a meal with my friend. And we had this, what they had in it was like called a mini dessert. And you got a brownie and you got tea with it. And I had like a peppermint tea because I don't do any other type of teas. I don't even do coffee or anything like that. But yeah, but this brownie came and we were expecting like a tiny little cube because it was like a mini dessert, so it was not that expensive. And this like massive bit of brownie came and we were both like, yeah, this is so cool. Yeah, and I do like brownies. What else do I like? But one of the things, I haven't had this for a really long time, but this is one of when I used to live in my old house, and it was my treat at the weekends. Every weekend I used to make pancakes with chocolate spread. So I used to love it, especially like Nutella. Pancakes with Nutella. Now, what more could a girl want? That was just like my favourite. So yeah, there you go. So before we go and we sign off, well, I sign off, so funny. Have you got any words of wisdom, either around the whole relationship thing or just anything in general, either from yourself or from the angels for the viewers today, so that they can take the wisdom with them and use it, if need be, as a tool for within their lives? Yeah, what can we do? Should we go for angel messages? Should we get an angel message about relationship? Let's see if they want to come in and bring in a message. So the angels are saying that they'd love to bring a message through with regard to a relationship as a whole. So what they're saying is to stay in tune with your living and just love your life. This isn't about us connecting to the labels and asking ourselves whether we have those labels figured out. Have I got my twin flame? Am I in a karmic? It's not about asking those questions. What they're saying to me to say is that this is all about love. Relationship is about love, and it doesn't matter which relationship it is. All relationship on every human level is about how much love we can bring into our own lives. The angels say to me to say to you with so much love that within everything that we do, love is the core component. So if you can enjoy your relationships every day for what they are, as opposed to questioning them or trying to understand them, then maybe you can come back into focus of true love. The angels are saying to me that it's all love. All relationship is about finding love within, even when they're difficult relationships. It's always going to come back to love. So step into your most loving self, reflect deeper, understand that if a relationship is testing you or there's a question around it, then maybe it's time to think about that and whether it's working for you on a fundamental level, or what is it that you need to learn from it. They're also saying love is all available to every single human soul, and it's to bring that understanding into you and to understand and know that you are precious, and the divine and your own innate divine nature also wants you to experience love in its highest aspect. So recognize that and bring that into you, and that can happen through great change and love and meditative practices. And it can also happen through becoming more aware of who you are and understanding what makes you the happiest and your needs, your drives and your desires. So there you go. Yes. Thank you all so much for watching my absolutely crazy episode of Conversations with Experts. And it was crazy. And it reminded me, I don't know if you guys know, there's this guy on Facebook, I think he's called Jason. Jason interviews Jason about, he was doing it all about the event, the pandemic stuff. And it's really funny, and he asks Jason questions and then the other Jason answers. So I kind of done that, and I found it really, really weird and crazy. I don't know how he does those interviews. Or maybe I've just tapped into it. I don't know. But anyway, guys, you know where to find me. If you have any more questions about twin flames or anything to do with that, please drop me a line. You can put them in the comments, or you can email me, or you can message me on my contact form on my website, which is www.friendshipconundrum.com. selfloveselfcaresystem.com. If you're interested in working with me, I offer healings, I offer angel connection readings, which are all about divine purpose, focus and direction. I can also do other things as well. I've been doing this kind of work since I was 11 years old, so I have the propensity and the ability to bring you through messages that you need. I also do coaching. Coaching's on the line of love and self-love. It works really well with stuff like the twin flame stuff, because if you're stuck in a relationship that you don't understand what's going on, the coaching element, especially in the self-love arena and maybe even the spiritual arena, can really help with that, to help to refine what's going on within your mind so that you can really move upwards in your relationship in a better way. Sometimes we need help. It's just the way it goes. And sometimes we don't. You're going to work on it on your own. It's probably going to take a little bit longer. I do thank you so much for watching this, like I say, crazy episode. I hope it comes out all right, because it's been a real weird thing to do. I am sending you all so much love as ever. If you need anything, you know where I am. Do feel free to contact me if you have any questions. And if you're about and you're free on the 1st of June, on my Facebook, it's my Self-Love Self-Care my Self-Love Self-Care Angel System page. I do a live angel card readings, so you might find that quite interesting as well. And sometimes things about twin flames come up, not often, or soulmates or anything like that, but I don't normally talk much about this kind of thing, because I think it's something for each one of us to navigate in our own way. So it's been an absolute pleasure to do this. I do hope it's come out all right, and I'm hoping that some of you enjoy it and get a little bit of a giggle from it. Take care of yourselves, and I'm sending you so much love. Namaste, everyone, and I'm sending you so much love. Have a beautiful week. All the love. Bye, 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 bye. Kisses, bye.